1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh dear. Oh. That's what that is, I suppose. Oh. Ah. Oh. Yeah. Hey, what are you doing there? You don't live there. Oh, thunder. Ah. Oh, good evening, Mrs. Flensing.
We had a nice bit of pork broiled left over, so I thought of you.
Oh, thanks very much. I'll have it for my supper.
I see you've got your front room curtains drawn.
Yes, I drew them.
Got a young lady in, have you?
No.
Oh, well, it's about time you had. How long have you been divorced now?
The reason I drew my front curtains was that I've just got my holiday slides back. Would you like to see them?
Oh, rather. You just try and stop me. There's nothing I like better than a nice slide.
Come in, Mrs. Flensing. Plenty of room in the 2 and 9s.
Isn't that funny?
Oh, do you think so? It's only a little joke.
No, dear, that armchair, isn't it funny?
Well, don't you like the upholstery?
No, dear. I mean, I can't walk into this room without seeing your wife sitting in that chair. I mean, I know it's been 3 years now, but I can still see Jill sitting in that chair.
She didn't used to sit in that chair. She used to sit in that one.
You know what I mean, Brian. This house has been too long without a woman in it.
Oh, don't start bullying again.
It's for your own good. A man needs a woman to keep him tidy and so forth.
I was the tidy one. It was Jill who was untidy.
You don't go out enough. You don't mix. You don't take yourself out of yourself. That's your trouble.
I'm going to show you my slides now, Mrs. Flensing.
Oh, might as well talk to a brick wall. Go on, then.
Right now. Now, I haven't had time to number them or get them in any sort of chronological order, so I'll have to explain them to you as we go along.
That's all right.
Right, now, first things first, lights out. I can't see where I am now. Just a minute, my eyes are becoming accustomed. Oh, yes. Yes, here we are. Now then. Ah, there he is. That's Ralph.
Oh, that friend you've been talking about ever since you came back.
Now, what he's doing there is a typical flamenco dance. Now, it's terribly authentic, apparently, because he was taught to do it by the gypsies themselves.
He's not shy, is he?
Next. Ah, there he is again. He's with our courier, Sue.
Look where he's got his hand.
Oh. Well, he's like that, Ralph. He can get away with things like that. Next. Ah, there he is again, chumming up with some of the locals. Next. Oh, now that's a shame, because just as he was talking to them, they all had to go home.
Pushes himself forward, does he?
Oh, no, he just knows the ropes. Next. Ah, there he is again, playing the giddy goat with a lobster there.
Who's the old lady?
She's Mrs. Turner. She had a weak heart.
I say, that's not a live lobster, is it? I can't stand cruelty to animals.
Oh, no, Ralph wouldn't do anything like that. No, Ralph's basically a very thoughtful person.
Haven't you got any photos of yourself?
Yes, there are some somewhere. Oh, here we are. Oh, blow. This projector bulb must have seen me coming. Just a minute, I'll turn on the light.
Rightio.
Oh.
What are you doing, Brian?
I can't... I don't know where I am in the room.
Oh, just a minute.
Oh. Oh, yes, here I am. Thank you, Mrs. Flensing. Yeah, I'm sorry about the projector bulb. Maybe you could see the rest of the slides some other time.
Oh, rather. This Ralph chap seems a bit of a character.
Oh, and a half, Mrs. Flensing.
Well, I'm glad you chummed up with a live wire. That's just the sort of friend you need. You know, bring you out of yourself.
Oh, he certainly did that. I've never been brought out of myself so much in my life.
There you are, then. And he lives in London, you say?
I don't know.
Oh, well, when's he coming round, then?
He isn't.
Oh, well, you're keeping in touch, surely.
I give him my address, but he threw it away.
Oh, I say.
No, not nasty. He was just being honest.
Rude, I call it.
Look, when you meet someone like Ralph, Mrs. Flensing, the first thing he'll tell you is that he's a lone wolf. And let's face it, lone wolves do not need permanent friends.
Look, dear, it really is very important that you give me Mr. Bryan's address. You call yourself a holiday tour company, you don't keep records? Oh, you do? Well, give me his address then, dear. Look, I don't care whether it's against company policy or not, dear. Mr. Bryan's a very close friend of mine. I must have his address. It's not your business why I haven't got it already. No, I am not next of kin. Look, I've had enough of this. Get me the manager right away. What do you mean he's on holiday? Well, let's just hope that nobody wants his address because they'll never get it out of you, will they? Eh?
It's no good, Mr. Tanner. I've rung all the Bryants in North London and your Mr. Bryant isn't one of them.
Oh, really, Stella? Can't I leave anything to you?
Well, I can't make him be in the phone book, can I?
Whitchurch, get in here!
Yes, Mr. Tanner.
Ah! I've got a job for you.
Not selling? You're not taking me out on the road?
Don't run before you can walk, Whitchurch. I'll tell you when. I want you to track down a friend of mine, Mr. Brian Bryant. All I know about him is that he works for a recording company. Now, get on with it.
Well, there must be millions of recording companies.
Don't exaggerate, only a few thousand. Now, just get onto it.
Well, if that's all, Mr. Tanner.
No, that is not all. Phone British Airways. We flew with them. They must have addresses and a passenger list. I assume you'll be able to find British Airways in the bookseller.
That will be under B, won't it?
Look, I'm sorry, Poppet. I've got a big sales meeting coming up. A bit uptight. You know what I mean?
You sound really desperate to find this friend of yours.
Now, what do you mean desperate? I just thought I'd look up a casual acquaintance, that's all.
That's odd, Stella.
What is?
Mr. Tanner. It's not like him to go running after somebody he just met on holiday, is it? I mean, well, he's a lone wolf by nature, isn't he?
You haven't fallen for that one, have you? Our Mr. Tanner is no lone wolf. He's more of a leech.
Still, we'd better find this chap, I suppose.
Yes, God help him.
Mr. Bryant, you're singing that song again. You've done nothing but sing that song ever since you came back from Spain.
Well, it's called Viva España. It means long live Spain.
I know what it's called. I also know it isn't on our label. So it's not only very irritating, it's disloyal to the company.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pemberton. Is that all?
No, it is not all. What's the meaning of this?
Oh, well...
I'll tell you. You're in charge of Moribund Records. You're supposed to know the artists who are moribund. And what do you do this morning? You send Max Allardyce and his Hawaiian Rhythm Boys back upstairs.
I wonder what made me do that.
Yes, so do I. It's common knowledge that Max hasn't recorded for the last 12 years.
But there's a reason for that.
Yes, popular taste. Always imponderable at the best of times.
No, the whole group were drowned at sea 11 years ago.
Well, if you knew that, why did you send them back upstairs?
Well, a mistake, Mr. Pemberton. We all make mistakes.
Yes, but you don't. Oh. Now, look, Brian, is there something bothering you? Because if there is, well, you've known old Pemby for a decade and a half now. He's a sympathetic listener.
Well, it's like this, Mr. Pemberton. I used to feel a sense of purpose filing and annotating data relating to such artists as Max Allardyce and his Hawaiian Rhythm Boys. But since this holiday, I found it very difficult to recapture the feeling. I keep asking myself the same question over and over again. Do I live to work or do I work to live? Because I did live in Spain, Mr. Pemberton. There was more to me than I realised there was. There was colour, excitement, and I don't know, I got back to work and suddenly this office seemed darker than it used to be.
If that's a snide way of trying to get fluorescent lighting out of me...
No, it isn't. I'm only only trying to say why I haven't been myself lately.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bryant. I'm quite ready to listen to genuine grouses. But when you try and hide behind a smoke screen of bohemian claptrap, all I've got to say to you is, pull your socks up, man. Get on with your work.
Champagne, por favor, Manolo.
Ralph!
Hello, old man.
Ralph!
How are you?
Ralph!
Is that all you're going to say?
Oh, yes, but Ralph! How did you find me?
Pure accident?
Yes, but how?
So this is where you work, eh, Brian?
Yes, this is the Moribund Records Department.
And that must be the window you told me about where you saw Dana's shoes walk past.
Oh, you remember?
Yeah. Seen any other famous shoes since you've been back?
Oh, not really famous ones. How are you, Ralph?
I don't know. I never know how I am. I just am.
Oh, you look marvellous.
And that's how I am then. Yourself?
Oh, I am, yes.
What?
I don't know, actually.
So this is where your company gets rid of all its moribund material, eh, Brian?
Well, basically, yes.
Is this your staff?
Yes.
Hello, folks. How do you do? How do you do? Ralph Tanner's the name. Costs a shilling to talk to me, but to you, 3p.
They don't talk much.
No. Well, come on then, Brian. This is your empire. Talk me through your system.
Well, I don't think you'd find it that interesting.
Come on, old man. I'm a good listener. That's what makes me liked in business.
All right, then I will.
A to Z, top to bottom, start to finish.
Well, our job really starts when the boy comes down the stairs with material that's 10 years old and puts it in this basket here.
Following.
And then it's up to me, well, us, to make absolutely sure that it's totally useless. So what I do is this. I take it over to my desk like this. I put it down like this. I open it like this.
Yes, but what's your end product, old man?
Well, well, there are still 8 more stages to go yet. Now, as I was saying...
Yes, but what do you end up with? Shredded paper?
Yes, well, that is the end product. But stage 2 is over here and involves Mrs. Winchester.
Fancy a spot of lunch, old man?
What? Oh, well, I suppose I could show you around some other time. The canteen isn't up to much, though.
Canteen?
Oh, no, of course not. I tell you what, we could go to, oh, no, they're closed on Mondays.
Oh, man, would you like me to pick the spot?
Oh, I'd love you to. You know, it's really great to... Oh.
What?
Well, it's only 12:30. We're not allowed to go till 1. Rules, you know.
Break them.
Well, I don't know.
Break them.
Oh, you're like a breath of fresh air, Ralph. Hold the fort, Mrs. Winchester. I'm taking an early lunch.
Right, Brian, did you get?
Oh, dear.
What's up?
You've parked in Mr. Diaboli's place.
So?
Well, he's the managing director.
I've eaten managing directors for breakfast, Brian.
But this is Lord's, Ralph.
So?
You can't park there, Ralph.
Why?
Well, that's Mike Brearley's place.
So?
He's captain of Middlesex. He's captain of England.
Look, if old Mike hasn't brought his car in today, he won't mind me using his space. Come on.
Do you know him? Oh, hang on. I'll get a couple of soft seats.
Leave the soft seats for those who need them, Brian.
How do you mean?
You'll see. Ah, lovely all the way. Yeah, that'll do very nice of you. Thank you very much.
Oh, I know I've said it before, Ralph, but you do, you know, you really make things happen.
What have I done now?
Well, first of all, you whisked me off to lunch half an hour early. You park in Mr. Diaboli's place. You know Mike Brearley. And to cap it all, I find myself drinking Chablis in a private box at Lord's. A private box at Lord's.
You must have said that 6 times, Brian.
7. I always repeat things when I'm stirred. As a matter of fact, a private box at Lord's.
8.
Yeah, that makes my record for the phrase I've repeated most.
You mean you actually keep count?
Oh, yes. I said, well, I suppose it's a bit of a relief in a way, 6 times.
When did you say that?
When I came out of the divorce court. I can't get over it. Having lunch in a private box at Lord's. 9.
Yes, well, I think we pretty well covered that subject, haven't we?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but how on earth do you get?
Well, providing you are, hope this doesn't sound too big-headed.
Oh, no, no.
Providing you are important enough.
Crumbs.
Yeah, a lot of things from the perks area come my way as a rep. New car every year.
Crumbs.
Best hotel on the company.
Crumbs.
6 weeks holiday a year.
Crumbs.
You could take Christmas when you wanted, of course. I had mine in August last year.
Crumbs.
Got a discount with various contacts you build up all over the country.
No, I was going to say crumbs, but I don't want to build that up into my record. No, I much prefer well, no, I will say a private box at Lord's. 10.
Yeah, it's not a bad old job, my sort of repping.
I should say not.
Ah, lovely. Bravo. Hey! Now that is a wild one. That is really a wild idea.
What is?
No, forget it.
Okay.
No, well, just for the sake of spontaneity, I'll tell you what it was. Have you ever thought of becoming a rep?
No.
Now, this isn't me offering you a job with my company, Brian, because you know we only just bumped into each other a short time ago. I've had no time to plan anything, but I mean, how do you fancy a job working with me?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I say that advisedly because I really don't know. That's come as such a bombshell.
It's bombshells right down the line with me, Brian.
I know that.
Well?
Well, I don't know. I'd have needed to have some prior warning of an offer like this.
Well, you couldn't have had, could you? Good Lord, it's not a preconceived idea. It's just, what's the word I'm looking for? Spontaneous.
Oh, I thought you said we better keep off that.
Well, not exactly spontaneous, Brian. I suppose I thought about it when I saw you in that Dickensian cellar of yours you call an office.
Hey, does Moribund Records really strike you like that?
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, old man. It's hardly a fun factory, is it?
Well, I suppose not.
What about those zombies you work with? Wouldn't surprise me if one of them dropped dead at his desk and nobody noticed.
One did, actually.
What?
Last November, Mr. Purdy. We were all putting on our Macs to go home, and Mrs. Winchester, the lady I would have introduced you to if we had got the stage 2 of my job, she walked over and tapped him on the shoulder and she said, "Come on, Mr. Purdy, home time." And he just fell over sideways like a log.
How long had he been dead?
Well, the doctor said a good 3 hours.
Well, there you are, you see. It's not exactly the liveliest place in the world, is it?
I wouldn't describe it as that.
And what's all this nonsense about not being able to take lunch half an hour earlier?
Well, rules, as I said.
Who made them, Scrooge? Hell's bells, man, you're not some menial clerk with a quill pen. You're not Bob Cratchit.
They're very good with pensions.
They need to be. You're all old before your time, they are.
Oh, that's true. Even the new office junior stopped whistling after the first week.
Whereas I whistle all the time.
Oh, I've never heard you whistle, Ralph.
It's a mental whistle, Brian, and if you come to work under my wing, you'd whistle too.
I don't think I've got the sort of personality for it, though.
No problem, I'd rub off on you.
And commission. It's not the same as a regular salary, is it?
The way I look at life, Brian, is you're on commission from the moment you come out of the womb.
Oh, it's very tempting.
Well, I'm going to shut up here because when you've decided, I don't want to be accused of making up your mind for you.
It's very, very, very tempting.
Yes, it must be, but I don't want to say anything about that.
I've made my decision, Ralph.
I rather thought you would, old man.
It's no thank you.
Eh?
No, stick to what you cut out for, that's my motto. I suppose I'm just a natural get-paid-every-Friday office waller.
But you said you were very tempting.
Oh, I am. I am. I mean, the thought of working with you, I can just imagine all the fun and things we'd probably have.
Well, then.
But it's the other side, you see. I don't think I could sell anything to anybody.
And you don't know that.
I do, Ralph.
Well, this is a fine kettle of fish, isn't it? I fixed it with a company now.
Oh, I thought you said it occurred to you spontaneously.
But don't be so pedantic about my tenses, Brian. I meant to say it would have been a fine kettle of fish if I had fixed it with a company.
Oh.
It's no skin off my nose. Water of a duck's back, if you must know.
Oh, that's all right, then.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, you seem a bit upset.
Upset me? Oh, grow up. Nothing upsets me.
You look upset.
Well, I am upset, as a matter of fact. I'm upset about that fool out there in the middle and his field placing. He doesn't need 3 slips.
Well, it's 2 slips and a gully, isn't it?
I couldn't care less if it's 2 slips and a man on the moon, Brian.
I thought you said that's what had upset you.
Well, that's an instance of bad captaincy, that's all. And look at him, look what he's doing now. He's taking them off a bad light in the sunshine.
They're going in for lunch, surely.
Just seem to take it when they want to these days.
Well, talking of time, I really ought to be getting back to the office. Are you coming?
No, I think I'll stay on for a bit of the afternoon session. Time's no master to me.
Well, look, it's been really marvellous meeting you again. And I'm going to write down my home address here. And please don't throw it away this time, because we might be seeing each other again, mightn't we?
Possibility.
I'm sorry about the job.
What? Oh, I've forgotten all about that, old man. Cheerio.
Oh, well, cheerio then. Oh, cheerio.
Blast. Oh, blast!
Yes, oh.
I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Pemberton. I strayed a bit further afield for my lunch than is my norm, and what with buses and everything, well, bus and tube, actually.
And in the meantime, I've had to endure a tongue lashing from Mr. Dwyer.
Oh, what did you do wrong, Mr. Pemberton?
I didn't do anything wrong. I merely went to see him on a purely routine matter and got Max Allardyce thrust under my nose.
What, and his Hawaiian rhythm boys?
Yes, they were up on Mr. Dwyer's desk for the 2nd time today.
They must have found their way back upstairs again.
That's patently obvious. What I want to know is why. And I don't think I have to look much further than you.
I must have put them in my upstairs tray by mistake.
By mistake, or in the rush to sneak out to lunch half an hour early.
No, I did not sneak, Mr. Pemberton. I did tell Mrs. Winchester I was going early. I mean, maybe I didn't make allowance for her ears, but I did tell her.
You didn't tell her about Max Allardyce and his Hawaiian rhythm boys, though, did you?
No, I didn't, and I'm sorry.
I don't see there's anything to laugh at.
Well, for a group that's been dead 11 years, they're causing quite a stir, aren't they?
Are you drunk?
No, I am not. Look, I'm very sorry that you got a roasting from Mr. Dwyer, but can we drop the subject now?
I would think it was for me to decide when to drop the subject. After all, I was the roastee.
Look, I've said I'm sorry. I don't see what else I can do.
You can mend your ways, that's what you can do. You can cure this terrible habit you've adopted of bad timekeeping, to say nothing of your laxity in processing data.
One day? In all the time I've been here? One day? What? This is the 1970s, Mr. Pemberton. I hold a responsible position. I'm not...
You're not what?
I'm not Bob Cratchit.
Ooh?
Some menial clerk sitting on a stool in a Dickensian cellar? Although I don't know, when I look around this place...
There's not a rat to be found in this building anymore, so don't say there is.
No, I know there isn't, but you can't deny it isn't... This place isn't exactly a fun factory, is it?
Fun factory?
Everyone grows old before their time here. I'm growing old before my time. Another 5 years and I'll be as old as you.
Nosediving into personal abuse now, are we?
I'm just mouldering away in this place.
You'll apologise, and you'll apologise now.
If I don't stick my foot in the door of life soon, it will slam in my face.
What are you mumbling about? I will not be mumbled at. Come on, I'm going to wheel you up in front of Mr. Dwyer.
Oh, do shut up, Mr. Pemberton.
Right. That's dismissal talk, that is.
I'll save you the trouble. I resign.
Resign?
Yes, resign. Formally.
Accepted, formally.
That's that then. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a quick phone call to make about another job. I'll pay for the call naturally.
Jobs don't grow on trees, you know. It doesn't rain jobs.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I've already been offered one. I only wish I'd taken it straight away.
Job? Who with?
As a rep, with a friend of mine who works for a company called... I don't know who he works for. I don't even know his address. Wait a minute, though. I do know where to find him.
Here, you can't walk out like that. Your telephone's ringing.
No, old man, no. Watch the ball right onto the bat, all right?
So, you're the one I've been waiting for.
That's very nice of you. When shall we get married?
Never mind jokes, never mind jokes. Do you know who this space is reserved for?
No. You hum the verse and I'll come in with the chorus.
I said never mind jokes. This space is reserved for Mr. Brearley.
I am Mr. Brearley.
You're not.
I am.
You're not.
I am.
Prove it.
I don't have to, old man. My name's there for all the world to see.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, sorry, Mr. Brearley, but we do have to check these things, you see. I'll see you out, sir.
Well,